Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
If you're here for the Student Academic Resource Center Academic Success Workshop on Time Management, then you are in the right place. What we're going to spend a couple of minutes on here this afternoon is, given the time of the semester that we are in, start to reevaluate our approaches to our time. Isn't that necessary?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's necessary to do that. And we're going to try to kill the number one killer of college students, which is procrastination. Right? Would you agree with that? How many of you, if we had a club here, student organization here called Procrastinations, you would join? I was going to say I could be your advisor if you would like, all right? But that club probably would never get off the ground because we would procrastinate getting together, and so it's just not going to happen. So what we're going to do is try to see how can we end some of that procrastination, and how can we use our time to our utmost advantage, because I think time is very precious, isn't it? And there's a lot of us that are kicking ourselves every now and then going, only if I wish I had, all right? Or why did I let that hour get away? Okay, why did I let that day get away from me? Now I'm paying for it. Okay, let's try to see how we can end that. All right, let's see how we can end it. But let's just talk briefly about procrastination. I like to call it the big P. Why do we procrastinate? Why as humans do we procrastinate? What are some of the reasons you find yourself procrastinating? What? Yes, ma'am.
You find other things to do
Mm-hmm.
instead of what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. What is it about those other things, though? There you go. And you know what? I'm just going to say what they really are. They're a heck of a lot sexier than what you're doing right now. Aren't they?
Yes.
Aren't they sexier? Yep. Are you ready, my friend? Ready? It's coming at you. Yep, it's fine. You'll do fine. Excellent. Yeah. Aren't they? A heck of a lot sexier than what you got in front of you.
More appealing.
Yeah, more appealing. Yeah. You're seeing a satisfaction and an outcome a little bit quicker. All right. I don't know how, if we were to poll students and we would say, here's the sexy meter, textbooks. Sexy meter, 1 to 10, 10 being very. I don't see many as a 9. All right. But if we then had the same category of that, okay, the sexy meter to eating ice cream, that's a 10. I'm going to go do that. Okay. But yeah, that's why we do it. What we are currently doing at that moment in time is not satisfying to us. Why else do we procrastinate? Yes, ma'am.
You have other responsibilities?
I'm sorry?
You have other
Yeah.
responsibilities?
And can I take that a step further if you'll give me permission to do that? Not only the responsibility is there, but it's difficult for us to make a decision about the priority of that responsibility versus what we're looking at. Do I have permission to do that? Is that working? Okay. All right. And it's not about prioritizing, it's just I've got two things here just as equally important for me to get done. How do I make that decision which one does happen? Okay, how do I make that decision? What else? What's another one? Let me have one more reason why we procrastinate. Yes?
Work better under pressure?
That is a very good, could you pass this back to my friend there, please? Thank you. Now that working under pressure, how many of you find that you have a successful outcome if you do what they kind of say, leave things to the last minute? Yeah, I'm one of those. Absolutely. So we're not really procrastinating here. What we are is we're using our strength.
Yes. That's my excuse too.
I have a way of turning everything into a positive, trust me, okay? All right? This is a strength. And that does lead into the next part of time management. You have got to know your strengths as a time manager. and use them to your advantage. If you are an early person and your outcome has been successful, guess when you are supposed to study at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you study at 3 o'clock in the morning and that equals an A, that's when you're supposed to study. If you study better in the afternoon, 4 to 6 o'clock or something, your outcomes are A's, that's when you're supposed to study. All right, whatever works for you, not what works for your roommate, not what you think the A students are doing, because there's a lot of misconception going on with that. A students must study 24/7. No, they don't. No, they don't. They've got it worked out.
Yeah.
They've figured this out. What works the best for them? They're not studying 24/7. Nobody should be studying 24/7. That's not how that should roll at all. Okay? They've just got this worked out. So we've got to find out our strengths when it comes to time management. How best do you work? And that's one way that I work the best is, leaving things to the last minute. It doesn't sound healthy. It doesn't sound impressive. But if the outcome is what it needs to be, nobody should question your methodology. Nobody should question your methodology. Now, one of the things about some strengths that I see from students that have it going on, that have got this time management thing under control, is that they are doing this principle very well. It is common, it is obvious, they are writing it down. If you are trying to keep 24 things up in your head, that leads to stress, which leads to being out of control. Okay? We're good, but we're not that good. If you find yourself saying, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, oh, God, really don't forget that. That leads to being a little bit out of control, doesn't it? Because you're trying to keep everything up here. Right here for students, this is where, all your principles of biology are supposed to be. Okay? Your mathematical formulas are supposed to be up here. The reasons and causes for the Civil War are supposed to be up here. Okay? Not a to-do list is supposed to be up there. So let's get it out of our heads. Let's get it down on paper. Get it out of your heads. Get it down on paper, the things that you need to do, so that it's less up here for that and it's better on paper. Okay? It's less up here and it's more on paper. That's the way it needs to be done. Okay? That's the way it's, so let's start writing it down. Now, you all received, I can borrow this, one of these sheets that has a calendar, blank calendar. Now, many of you probably use a calendar of some kind. All right, I've already seen a couple people here with it, and that's good. That's something good to use. Sometimes we need to take it into a different context. All right, so having something different to look at for these last couple of weeks of the semester can be helpful. Now, what should we be writing down? Should you be writing down now, if you took some time to fill this out, your classes?
No,
Why not?
because that's something that you've already been accustomed to going.
Right. Just by having just your classes down here, does that make you a better time manager than you were 30 seconds ago when they weren't written down? No. Everybody, I think, knows where they're going to class. True?
Yes.
And if it's another answer, just keep it to yourself, okay? All right? So yeah, you don't need to write down classes. You don't need to write down classes. What should you be writing down?
Things you need to do.
Such as, can you give me an example of something probably everybody in here has
Do assignments.
There you go. So let's say we have an assignment. Now this is going to sound like common sense, folks, but when we take it this one step further, we're going to see the difference between a good time manager and an excellent one. So tell me a class you're taking.
Speech.
Speech. Let's write down speech assignment, not just assignment. What is the assignment for? So it's for her speech class. Can you come up with an assignment that you've had to do in that class?
A speech.
A speech, well, hello, help me. Yes, thank you. All right, so you have a speech to do. Let's say, what is today? Wednesday. We've got a speech on Monday to do.
Yep.
Let's just, oh, we do? Oh, okay, I just thought, very good, you were playing along nicely. Okay, so Monday, speech at, let's just say class is at 10. Okay? What grade do you want to make on that speech?
An A.
Very good with that. A. Start to put down in your calendar what the outcome should be. Start to write that down in there. So when that nasty little procrastination bug starts to hit you, and you start to find these things that are more appealing, all right, such as just cleaning anything, all right, you're going to say to yourself, no, that's right, no. Look at what's going to happen here. If I get an A on this speech, I'm keeping my A. An A in a 3-hour credit class gives me 12 grade points towards my GPA. It puts me one step further to making Dean's List. You see how that can multiply on it? All right, so in your calendars and stuff, write down what could be the outcome of that. Helps you look at it a little bit better. Helps keep that procrastination behind you. You're moving forward. Okay? A couple other things with this that we should write down. She's got to prepare for it, right? Don't you have to prep for that?
Yes.
That's where you have to start to find those holes in your schedule. Find those holes, and how can I use those to my advantage? How long are speeches usually in that kind?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. So do you have to spend 10 hours preparing for this speech? No. Find out your time limits that are associated with it. So let's say right after here, when this workshop concludes at 4 o'clock, she doesn't have a class until 6. So she's got 2 hours. How can she use it most effectively? So during that block, she'll go block out on her calendar from 4 to 6. Block it out. Then start to write down what are 4 things that I can get done in 2 hours and be over. All right? Welcome to the jungle. Nice. Old school GNR, I believe. Is that true? Am I right? Yeah. I still got it. Okay. Okay. So that's what you want to do. Use that time frame the most productively you can, and you've got to do that now, right? We can't let any little time waste anymore, all right? Use that time. But be smart about this. Let's switch it up. Let's say that she had a history test over 7 chapters to get ready for. Can she put down here, prepare for 7-chapter test?
No.
In 2 hours? No. What could she put down? If she has a 7-chapter test in history coming up, what could she put down in a 2-hour time frame?
Like a chapter or two?
Yeah, that's where you write down. All right. Chapter 6 notes. Could that get done in 2 hours? Sure could. All right. Write it down. Don't think about it. Write it down, because then, you know, we are a society of instant gratification, right? We want to be happy at all times. So if you write it down and she gets it done, guess what you get to do? Oh, yeah! You get to do all sorts of stuff. That's good stuff. That relieves some stress. Gives you a sense of accomplishment there. Okay? It does work, trust me. Getting this out does work. All right? So write it down. Don't be thinking about it, because if you think about it, you can talk yourself out of anything, can't you? Some of you did it on your way over here. I get it. Well, maybe there's another one I can go to later on in this semester. Now, they really won't know whether I do that requirement or not. It's such a beautiful day. And I've been such a good person. And I've had a hard day, too. I just shouldn't have to go. See how we can talk ourselves out of anything? But some of you might have written down in your calendar, go to workshop. All right? If you didn't, you should write it down in your calendar. And then when you get out of here, you go crazy and do that. All right, give you that sense of satisfaction. It's over with. I'm done. Okay? So let's start really getting this stuff written down and stick to that. Right before coming here, I had 45 minutes. And I sat there for a minute and said, what can I possibly get done so when I go back to my office, I'm not looking at it again. I'm doing that daily. All right, this time management thing doesn't end with college, trust me. It does not end. So let's get this thing rocking now. What are some assumptions somebody could make of an individual who is an excellent time manager?
Organized.
Organized is one. What's another assumption? If you saw somebody's calendar and a lot of things are there and they're working, what would you just assume?
OCD.
Oh, see, you could assume that. Yes, you could look at me and say that at some points too. All right. But she said, I'm sorry, say the first one. Organized, right? What else?
Busy.
I'm sorry?
Busy.
Busy. What else can you say about the person? What else?
Less stress.
Mm-hmm. Whoop. One more. What else? Anybody? One more. What would you say about somebody who's got, yes, sir?
They accomplish goals.
Very good. Would you not like to have these words and phrases associated with your name? Isn't that good? You ready? Wouldn't you like to have that stuff associated with your name? I know I would. All right, and trust me, this is going to be asked on your interviews. It is probably one of the top 5 questions that are asked of college graduates. Is about your ability to be a good time manager. And you're going to have to show and demonstrate them how effective you are. These are the natural assumptions that go with it. Now let's do the flip side. What are assumptions made of people who are poor time managers?
Lazy.
Lazy. What else?
Late.
Huh? Late to everything. Yes. What else? What else? You know, say it.
Unorganized.
Unorganized. Slacker.
Not responsible.
Not responsible. Immature. Incapable. Seriously? You know, that's just a phrase. You know, you just say it. Seriously? Do you want your name associated with that? No.
No.
Okay? These are the effects that this stuff can have, so let's use it to our advantage. Now is not the time, and it starts to infuriate me when I'm walking across campus, and especially outside where I work in Howard Phillips Hall, when people are waiting to see their advisor, or I see students on campus sitting with nothing but a phone. That's not supposed to be happening right now, folks. All right? You've got to have something with you all the time. What if class is canceled? You better be having something right there because I'm going to the library. Take advantage of this time. What if you're sitting outside a professor's office or an advisor's office waiting and you're just sitting there? You could be going through some flashcards. You could be updating your calendar. You could be rewriting some notes. Nobody, as I say, should be walking around this campus naked. And my definition of naked is without a backpack. This is not the time to just be walking around. Carefree and things are great, unless you've already taken your finals. And I don't know if anybody got permission to take them about 3 weeks early. So until you've got those final grades, you've got to start using your time the most effective. All right, the most effective. And have those goals, have it simply put down. All right, let's get these words associated with your reputation, not the other way around. Okay? Not the other way around. Now, there's another reason why students procrastinate, and this is something I really enjoy talking to college students about, is, whoops, that's not it. This is it. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
That there's some sense that we procrastinate because of fear of failure? Who can elaborate a little bit more on that? What's going on there? Why would a student procrastinate out of fear of failing? Help me with a correlation there. What do you think? What do you think?
Maybe the task will go away if you put it out.
Exactly. Magically, it's just going to disappear for me. It's one of those, if I just keep going like this, somehow it's just going to disappear from the page. If I just keep going like this, eventually it'll go away. It'll eventually go away. Does some of this have to do with, okay, math always equaled an F? Does some of that, come from background? And this does have something to do with our reason for procrastinating. Because if we've always been told you're not going to succeed in a subject area, oh yeah, let me jump on that. Oh, let me get right to the library and get studying on that. I just had a student in my office who was talked to me just about this. Just about it. And she was putting off assignments and everything because she goes, I've been told since I was in 2nd grade I wasn't good in math. And I said, well, let's not, no, let's turn that around. Math isn't going to be a reason we don't succeed. Something else is. But it's certainly not going to be math. You're going to give that over to math? Since when did math become all that? You see where I'm going with that? If you have that sense of it, let's turn that around, and how do we build confidence with it? Okay, how do we build some confidence? One way to get rid of this, and folks, I say this all the time, you have got to be getting with your professors on this. You want to cut down on your time management as far as the amount of time to study, you have got to get in there with your instructors and professors. I had a meeting with a chair of a department here today who also teaches here at UCF. And he cannot understand why students are not coming to his office for help. He goes, I have all these office hours. Nobody has come this semester. And he's not understanding why. What do you think is going on there? Why are students not going to professors' office hours?
It's out of the way out of your schedule.
Oh, very nice. Of schedule, okay. All right, are you saying that it doesn't match their schedule, like you already have a class?
Yeah, or maybe you don't have any classes that day, so you don't feel like coming to campus period.
Now you're speaking to the choir there. I have a feeling, okay? Why else are we not going to professors' office hours? Intimidated? The professor is intimidating? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. What else?
I always feel like the professor's always put in his time in the classroom, so what more is he going to teach me that I haven't already heard from him to begin with?
Oh. So what is going to be new? What is going to be relevant? What's going to be the next great thing that could possibly happen from going there? And I'm trying to think of a condensed way to put that up here. I'll just put what is next. Interesting, interesting. What else? What else? Got one light bulb left. What's another reason why we're not going to see our professors? They're not going to watch this, folks. Trust me. Don't worry about it. What else?
Maybe you don't feel like the professor's approachable.
Not approachable? Yes, Dina?
Maybe they're intimidated. What you said.
Yep. Well, you know what? All of this here, I think that it's valid. You have some valid, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I was going to say that I think you already know it well enough.
Say it one more time.
I think you already know it well enough.
You think you already know it well enough. Yeah, that's very good. Now, I'm going to try this. Okay, ready? Still got it, just a little bit, just a little short on that one.
Or you just
Okay.
procrastinate, see.
Are they truly not excuses? You are not being physically tied down and bound and gagged and being prevented from going to the professor's office, true? Nobody has got you tied up somewhere so you can't go. That's a reason why you can't get there. You're going to let a thing like these things be a reason you don't succeed? Oh, I don't think so. True? But they're valid reasons. Hear me on that. I'm not dismaying them. But is that what is going to cause you from not getting your A? Oh no, we've got to make this something else. We got to make this something else entirely. Okay? This out of the way in the schedule thing, I've heard that time and time again from students. Their office is too far away. Seriously? Seriously? Really? We're going to go there? I've also heard weather conditions play a factor too. Really? Now there's nowhere on your transcript, folks, can you put in parentheses, the reason that I got a C is the professor's office was clear across campus and Florida was in the tornado season. That's why I got a C. That cannot show up on your transcript. The C is a C. Let's not make these the reasons why we do not succeed. Let's not let a little thing like time management, something you do have control over, be a reason we don't succeed. Stop playing those excuses. This is the time of the semester to get incredibly selfish. Incredibly selfish. Who came here with some friends? Where are my peoples who've got friends? You guys right here? Okay? All friends? All right. What's got to start to happen? All right. With friends and things, you got to use them correctly. When it comes to studying and things like that, if they're one of you that try to talk you out of stuff, you got to start coming up with this phrase. You got to start going, afraid not, can't do it. Heck yeah, it's a lot more fun what they're about ready to go do. Oh, I agree. It would be fantastic for us to have a great dinner and go out for ice cream and movies. But I've got a psychology exam tomorrow. It's only going to take a couple of hours. No. I got to get an A. And that friendship thing has to be worked on a little bit. All right? We have got to start saying this and saying yes to the A's. True? Your friend's not going to help you get that A. They're not the ones taking that exam. At least I hope not. Let's not go down that road. That'll get you kicked out of here faster than anything. So let's not do that. All right? It's saying no to that and saying yes to this. All right? And it's not easy to say no to your friends. It's not easy. And that's a simple example is the whole dinner and ice cream and a movie thing. It's also about drama too, isn't it? Doesn't drama in college take up time? Oh, yes, it does. I've seen you all out there. Heck yeah, it does. It takes up a lot of time, doesn't it? It does. Friend, your roommate or whatever, I need a ride to the airport. Can you take me? And you're going, gosh, I've really got class that I should go to. Well, you don't have to go to class. They don't take attendance. What does it matter? Come on, be my friend. Take me to the airport. What kind of friend takes you out of the classroom? Or would even suggest or ask that? You see where I'm going with this? We have got to become much more selfish. That's how you get control of your time. You've got to know that it's all about you. It's about nobody else. It is about you right now. True?
True.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Needs to be. No question, needs to be. Have to learn to say no. Have to learn to say no. It's too critical right now. All right? And if the outcome is the A, then you know you've done it all well. Okay? So let's be saying no to things and get that under control. Okay, the last part of it that we have is that being a good time manager and doing these kind of things does take time. So it's a beautiful day out. If you want to procrastinate, but procrastinate proactively, I think that's a sentence that works. Then you take your calendar, you take the sheet, you go outside and spend a half hour writing it all down and making it happen. All right, collecting everything that needs to happen, put it in front of you, get your goals written down, get how it's going to happen, have that reward system ready for the end, and make it possible. Now, on your yellow sheet that you got, on the back part, take a look at this for a second. So you have an example there of something. All right. This calendar that I put together here, please, at the top, all right, It reads, this is an example. All exam dates are fictitious. I made this up. Do we have an understanding here? That I made this up. I do not know whether or not there's actually a math exam on the 12th. Do we all hear me on this? All right, and the reason I've had to say that, you can just imagine why. I've had a couple of students, do I have an exam on the 12th? You sure do. And it's in math and physics, room 206 at 10:15 on the 12th. Be there. What? Okay, I understand it comes, we have issues. It's all good. But I made all this up, my friends. But this is how detailed you want to get. All right, this is how detailed you want to be. You can see with that math exam that it's tied to an A. And it says an 88 equals an A. That means if that student gets an 88, they get an A in the course. They know what their goals are in there. They see where it's going to be located. You should even get to the point of what do you have to bring? Start finding that out now. Nothing is more stressful for me, and I'm not even taking finals, is when finals do start and I get to work here relatively early. And I see students standing outside the bookstore going, please open up before, please open, I need a Scantron, I need a Scantron, hurry up and open, hurry up and open. I have 5 minutes then to get to my final. Have that done. Have it done ahead of time, okay? Get that stuff behind you. Be prepared for that. Know where your finals are. You know that you can look at the academic calendar, all right, that is online for your final exam, and also, of course, your syllabus is where you need to be looking for it. Sorry. But this is how detailed you want to get. What chapters am I going to read that particular day? What study sheets am I going to get done that particular day? That's where we have this stuff written up. Okay? For example, too, there is a comment on here about a history paper on the 7th that is due at 2 o'clock. You would see and back up a couple of things. Complete history paper on the 5th. I need to get that done early because look at how much I have to do on the 6th. That's really about planning this stuff out. Having something this detailed and then posting it up on your wall somewhere with a big whiteboard or however it needs to be done will help you be in control. All right? Help you be in control. And then you know exactly what is in front of you. Because again, I don't want you guys to go insane. We need you all right here with us. All right? Now, part of this as well, again, we have the goals written down, is connecting with professors. There's one other little part in there, and it's called about study groups. How many of you have been in study groups already this semester? Have they worked? Do they work? What are your opinions on study groups? What's the problem with study groups? Yes, sir.
I wouldn't really say there's a problem with study groups. It's just that I think people may not want to go to them because they believe that they can probably study on their own. When in turn, I recently went to a study group for physics, and it turns out that helped a lot.
Why? What was your determination that study group worked for you?
I guess it was determination because by each of us quizzing each other on certain chapters while the others quiz us on the other chapters, it sort of build up our confidence to know several chapters at once.
Correct. That's one of the big benefits of study groups is being able to teach each other. If you can teach it to somebody else and they have the light bulb moment, thank you for the prop. Yeah. All right, if they have that, then you know you've got it. You've got it down. There's nothing greater than a confidence builder if you can teach it to somebody else. And also, by you receiving that information, that's the way you needed to receive the information. I was a math tutor as an undergrad. And there were so many times when I was working with students and they would say, why wouldn't my professor say it just like you just did? I said, well, because I'm not a professor. So I just used these other ways, and it worked for somebody else. So teaching it to somebody else is very powerful, and the confidence is there because you have to say it out loud and you're not second guessing. If you're studying and you're just doing this, oh no, I just thought of 3 other things. No, now I'm up to 4 things. I couldn't tell you one thing that's on this sheet of paper because you're not doing anything physical with it. All right? So the study group part for that reason can be very good. One of the things you will see with the study group of how it's listed on this calendar, do your study groups 2 days before the exam, not the day before. Day before with study groups, sometimes you get the talkers who are not staying on cue for what's happening, or you get somebody just falling out all sorts of upset about what could be the final outcome and all that, and you don't have time to be listening to that. All right, do it 2 days before. Night before should really be by yourself, okay? But study groups are very powerful for that reason, okay? So be careful of those. All right, thoughts or comments about this? Any ideas or anything you want to share with your fellow Knights regarding time management? Anything that's worked for you well? Oh, see, y'all are just so shy and won't brag about yourselves or anything, will you? That's okay. That's all right. So in summary again, all right, let's get into control. How do we get in control? We write things down. When we're writing it down, we're very specific about what needs to be written down. We tie our goals into that different times. We're not going to be walking around campus naked. We're going to always have something with us right now, so in between classes or as we're walking around, we're not checking Facebook, we're flipping note cards. All right? We're flipping note cards, people. That's what we're doing. Not checking Facebook, flipping note cards. Post to Facebook later, I just finished 50 note cards. That's what I want to start seeing on Facebook accounts now. All right? I have a lot of students who have friended me. That was a mistake. Okay, so I want to start seeing those things and not, well, we won't even, that's a whole nother workshop. Okay, so let's be doing that. Flipping note cards, not checking Facebook. All right, so none of that. Let's make sure that happens. Get into your professors' offices. Make sure you're using them productively. All right, and most important, be very, very selfish right now. Be very, very selfish. It's about your grade and nobody else's. All right. I want to thank you for attending today's workshop, and we look forward to seeing you at the next one soon.